Hello and good evening. Star Trek Lower Decks, Season 5, Episode 8, Upper Decks, is over and has just been since today. But we're just getting started here on Live Long and Podcast for another live stream review. I'm Dave Mader. We're here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, and I got a great panel once again to break this all down. Coming in first, we got the Click It Man himself, Davan Skelhorn.
Great panel. Your kind words burn me.
Well, yeah, you got that fight or flight, thing evolved into. Nothing I can do about it. And of course, we have the Dino Man himself, Lieutenant Justin Velociraptor.
Hey, Captain. It's nice to see how great that Davan's beard looks today.
Yes.
Ah!
Of course, we're here to break down this episode. Spoilers, if you have not watched this episode, we're going to be breaking it all down and talking all about it here on Live Long and Podcast. But you can throw some comments, some questions, whatever you'd like, into the description and let us know what you think about the episode. And we're going to break it all down and talk all about it, guys.
I'm actually just going to do some bicep curls over here. You guys go ahead.
Well, that's a good idea. I heard about another commander who could bench like 380.
Yeah, well, it was me.
It was
305. That's rookie numbers.
Yeah, so we had kind of speculated that this episode could be a feature, just based on the title, on the senior officers of the Cerritos. That turns out to be exactly what it is. We get in this episode kind of a reverse version of the original Next Generation episode titled Lower Decks, where it's all about Captain Freeman and Commander Ransom and Lieutenant Commander Billups and Dr. Tiana and... Was there four? Those are the main four. Oh, and Shax, Lieutenant Shax, I guess, being the last one who's featured. Mig Limo doesn't get any real feature here as one of the senior officers. And Kayshawn, I guess, is considered a senior officer, even though he just works for Shax, doesn't he? Like, does Kayshawn do something else?
And Stevens is like the captain's gopher. Almost like her yeoman.
Yeah, Stevens is like the attaché or something. Like, even though she's not a flag officer, but yeah. So we see here. Let's get into it and have a reminder. I got about 480 shots here, more than I normally take in a particular episode. But there's a lot, especially with the Shax scenes. That there was a lot of detail to capture there. So we're gonna break that all down. We're at this planet called Boongar 5. Where it's the Bugon feeding ground. There are these...
the bagoons.
The bagoons. Ransom refers to them as space cows. They're kind of like tardigrades almost, or something, like along that thing. They're spaceborne. They like to lick rocks or asteroids that are orbiting around this planet. And we'll get to learn more about them. It's also Halloween on the Cerritos, and we have some. Why are we mutilating these gourds? Talin wants to know, but it's carving into some jack-o'-lanterns. They're having a lot of fun. We see here that Rutherford is able to put a nice Cerritos design into his pumpkin, which impresses the group, even Talin, who's logically not swayed by such things normally.
No, she's popping off again this episode, though.
Oh yeah, she has a great, especially at the end, where she has her joke. We have Mariner shows up partway through this conversation, covered in paint. We find out she was on an away mission where she was trapped inside a painting, and they had to get out of it. They had to ride a rainbow or something to get out of it, and it sounds fun. I would have liked to have seen it.
I would have gone on that away mission.
Yeah, well, so would Boimler. He was very much into it here. Wishing he could have, got to go on such a mission, but he did not here. Did I? Okay, trying to get all the things It's
almost got the full beard. The sad thing is, once we see a full beard, we'll know the show is over.
I guess that's the point. Yeah, he's heading into his Riker mode here with the full beard. So we see here that Rutherford has put in a V'ger into this particular pumpkin or
the
squash.
creator must join with V'ger.
Right, yeah, which Mariner riffs on there, and then we get pulled away here as we see that Mariner and Boimler are trying to avoid the senior officers. They don't want to get pulled into some dumb meeting where they're going to have to deal with such things. They deserve a day off too sometimes. And just then, Mariner spots her mom, Captain Freeman, along with Stevens, who's got a whole itinerary here for the captain. Now, I couldn't help think of you, Davan, when, Captain Freeman says, "Do I never get a day off?"
I never get a day off, do I?
Not with me around.
Yeah, and I was just like, you were like, "Hey, do you want another 12 days of Christmas?" I was like, "No, I got enough going on today, dude." But,
I love how this shows the monotony of being a captain.
Yeah.
The things they have to just, placate people with. Like, it's endless.
You gotta go to their dance recitals and their different birthing. Yeah, you're not just a captain of a ship, but you're the leader of a community, and therefore you need to sort of connect with your constituents, maybe. Going along here, of course, So
I love the camera handoff in that scene where it just hands off so cleanly from Boimler and Mariner to Stevens and Captain Freeman.
Yeah, never a dull moment when you're in command. I think there's without. It seems like we're the star of the show.
It's kind of funny. We're sort of the stars of the show around here. The commanders seem to just fade into the background.
Well, not this time. They're front and center for this one. And so we come into here, we see the senior officers, and we get a great final line here from Captain Freeman as we head into the title credits.
Nothing would ever happen around here without the bridge crew.
Without the bridge crew.
I want that shot as a poster. They all look so glorious. Look at Kayshawn back there.
Kayshawn's like, yeah. Oh, Miglamo is also here, but I guess he's not in the shot. But,
and Ransom just trying to look ultra cool. He's got the leg up. He's,
yeah,
smirk. Looking off into the distance.
Oh, we get a pan across here, and there you see Miglamo as
go.
well. Yeah, like just that great pose
Shaka
there.
when the album drops.
Yeah, exactly.
Well put. That's our title. That's our teaser for the episode, and our title, of course, Upper Decks. As the Cerritos, still in this feeding ground. We find out that Ensign Barnes was recently turned into an devolved something.
I love
or other.
this gag.
Yeah. Of course, what's the episode of Next Generation where where Barclay turns into the spider? Genesis.
Yeah. Riker turns into basically what Barnes turns into.
Right.
Except not psychic, but probably still afraid of fire.
Yeah. It was like an devolved, whatever. And how'd you stop him? Well, I used a candle. So that was,
thought of a candle.
I thought of a candle. That's how it goes here. So they're having their little their meeting here. Dr. Tiana gets chastised by the captain for not being up on her anesthetics, and that will become the major plot line here for Tiana in the episode.
This makes me wonder if these episodes were shown out of order than they were intended to, because this seems like it kind of sets up why she has all those untested anesthetics in the other episode when Boimler boims himself.
Well, yeah,
Right.
there is that weird thing. So perhaps they changed the order of the episodes.
And this is like supposed to be a Halloween episode, maybe because of the pumpkins.
Yeah, that's the other thing too. Is Halloween, because that would have been episode 3. That aired on Halloween. So it feels like this maybe was intended originally to be the 3rd episode of the season, but they moved it to episode 8. And I guess it doesn't
I just
really-
caught that the references to anesthetic reminded me of Boimler getting
They're
bored.
like, the only change
think
we
we've,
really
like,
have to make
covered
is to
up
give
buff.
Boimler more facial hair, and then we can make it episode 8. So it's quite possible. So yeah, Tiana's a little upset about that. They're talking to security here, and then they're having a little laugh around the table. But then all of a sudden, Shax sees a ghost from his past, if you will, sort of a younger version of himself. What he'll come to say as
You're a freaky little monster that lives in my brain!
a freaky little monster that lives in his brain from his days in the Bajoran Resistance. The younger Shax we see here.
From the Battle of Timpasa.
The Tapasa, a snake even coming out of his mouth here, and Shax is definitely having a day. I thought this originally was going to be like,
Cardi's put a grenade in the artifact.
yeah, they're not warriors, they're occupiers.
That was the best line in this episode, if not the season.
I thought this was going to explain his death when that came up. I was like, oh, is this going to be Shax's death episode?
Yeah, or like something from that when he came back to life and everything, like the Black Mountain and all that.
I thought it was going to be the Black Mountain.
Yeah, initially, but then I was like, okay, they're doing
yeah.
something else here. So he asked for a day off, and Captain Freeman's like, okay, sure. So he runs off. Dr. Tiana's like, I don't know, like what to tell you, even though that's her boyfriend. And we see here, yeah, they're dealing with the space cows coming along here. There's a biologist coming on board, and Ransom's been assigned to help them out. To I don't know, do some kind of exobiology exercise. And so that's coming on. And then in Billup's camp, he was like, I replaced all those panels on the ceiling, and like Ransom's like, yeah, they're always falling on me during battle and hitting me. But then we get some kind of like scientific reasoning for that, or I don't know. And Captain Freeman's like, whatever. I trust you got it, Billups. It's all good.
Phillips is awesome in this episode.
Billups, yeah, no, Billups is some of my favorite stuff in this episode for sure. And then we find out that the Cerritos Bridge crew has their own little like chant here. Strong and brave, wise and true. That's what makes a Cerritos crew.
Bring it in, everyone!
Strong and brave, wise and true. That's what makes us Cerritos crew. Yeah.
Woo! Hey, what do you think they do on the Defiant or on Voyager for such things? Maybe nothing.
Go
Make it so on
Harry.
Go Harry. Maybe one day he'll be promoted. Actually, we still haven't seen that yet with all the Harry Kims. That is yet to like we saw that in the trailer for the season.
That's got to be next episode.
It's got to be, right? Like we only got 2 left. Anyway, so this episode written by Colin Crawford and directed by Bob Suarez, but we get more of Captain Freeman going along here with Lieutenant Commander Stevens, who I guess is not a bridge officer, but he's still, I don't know, a lieutenant commander that just, I guess deals with Captain Freeman and maybe Commander Ransom's affairs.
Well, they're best friends.
Yeah, they're best friends. Well, he likes Ransom more than Ransom likes him, if you ask me. Anyway, then we check in here with Commander Ransom.
But they're all from Hawaii.
Hawaii. Commander Ransom, he was assigned to help this exobiologist, who we'll find out is not who he says he is. But it turns out he looks like the same
Jerish
species
Enyo.
as Jerish Enyo, the Federation president we saw in the Deep Space Nine 2-parter.
They're like horse people.
They're like, yeah, like kind of if horses evolved into people, sort of thing. Maybe a unicorn even with that thing coming out of his head. So they head to the shuttle bay. And we see here that the Beta Shift ensigns and the Delta Shift ensigns are, trying to get one of these space cows in through the thing, and they're fighting with each other and arguing with each other because how can Beta Shift and Delta Shift ever get along, Justin? That's just not possible.
You can't. It's cats and dogs living together.
Mass hysteria.
Pandemonium.
Those handheld tractor beams are pretty sweet.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind one of
I
those
want
either. So then Commander Ransom says, come on out in here, guys. There's the handheld tractor
So
beam.
good.
But this one ensign, are we supposed to know their names? I'm not even sure, but maybe
I don't think though. Not these ones.
Yeah.
One of them we
anyways,
get their names, like they call them Fedorov or something.
Right. I feel like we've met them before, but I don't know. And then this one of these asteroids accidentally gets brought into there. Oh, I look how my favorite part too earlier in this was when they're yelling at the creature and they're like, "We're in space. They can't hear you. There's no sound." But technically, like Ransom can't hear them either, right? Or unless
because like they're on the comms. I think that's how
They're on
they
the
talk to
comms?
each other, so he can probably hear it too. Like whatever comm channel they're using to talk to each other. Like he can probably hear that inside the bay because it's all probably one unit working,
It's it's one of those things with Star Trek where like technically a tractor beam doesn't make a sound and these things and warp drive in space, or at least not from like this perspective we're meant to think of as an audience, but it would be a lot more boring if there was no sound and it was just kind of silence and whatever else. Anyway, so Ransom saves the imposter horseman person here. Which brings the creature into the cargo bay as it just came in here to keep licking the salt lick, if you will. More of these arguments here between them. Oh, and then we find out that it can cloak. It has self-cloaking abilities. And it starts running, flying around the shuttle bay here as the Delta Shift and Beta Shift ensigns continue to argue with one another, pointing fingers at one another. And so Ransom's like, you know what? Time out. This is time for some of my commanding abilities. I'm going to tell you a story. And then we got kind of like a time jump here where it's unclear how long this story goes on for, but all these ensigns just going to have to listen to Commander Ransom go on and on for a while. As he's kind of giving everything. Of course, giving his best Riker leg move there. And just making these ensigns really regret it. Then we check in with Shax, who is got all his candles out and his prayer mat and everything else as he's trying to deal with this freaky little monster that lives in his head. Of course, that's one of the promotional images from the episode as he's kind of going into a rage. And then we see these, the younger Shax with blood all over him, his eye scarred.
Like we see how that happens, though.
It's from this battle, right? It's like
it's from that explosion when he throws the artifact.
Oh, okay, yeah. And what he looked like before that happened, before he lost the sight in one of his eyes.
What does he call him? Papa Bear? I'm you.
Tom Selleck.
He looks like a Tom Selleck. Kind of, yeah, for sure. You're a freaky little monster, lives in my head. And then we see the Battle of Tempura. No, Tempura's a Tempasa. Shax is, reliving these memories from the, Bajoran resistance here on Bajor. We know that he was traumatized here, and we see that the Cardassians have hit a bomb inside of this artifact.
They have no honor. Occupiers.
These occupiers. He throws the bomb here, and it blows up. And,
right in his face.
Right in his face. Coming back here. Now this demon, now looking older and got the red eyes behind him. This is not like a real entity, right? This is just like his own demons or his own like psychological thing, right?
Maybe he's got a pare thing going on.
Maybe. Like I was not sure if we're meant to just like see this as some sort of like mental illness or if this is actually some kind of external.
I think he explains exactly what it is at the end of the episode, and Miglemo's just like, "Oh, I can like give you weapons for that." And he's like, "Let's do it now."
He's like, therapy. He's like, therapy could give you weapons to fight that. He's like, then we'll do it now. Yeah. Therapy.
The Bajoran version of PTSD. That's how Bajorans experience PTSD. Is with fighting
makes
demon
sense.
Copies of themselves.
Yeah.
So
he's like, so Shax tries to get all zen here. He's like, I'm just going to go into my little meditation mode. And then he's like, no, I can fight you. And he starts fighting his astral projection thing here. Kind of, a little bit like X-Men and Davan with the, Professor X and his his evil
like
astral
fighting
version.
Shadow King or something.
Shadow King, yeah, that's it. Then we go down to engineering. I don't know if we've ever seen this angle before. It was kind of impressive to see it from.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Got Billups here who, he had something for breakfast, but he's getting over it.
I had a bagel for breakfast, and it gave me a tummy ache. But I'm feeling better.
But he's not feeling better, Don't go too crazy.
The engineers that really live.
Yeah, everyone dies, but it's only the engineers that really live. And they want to. Every engineer
So many
dreams
great
of dying
lines.
at work in a tube. Is what we're also told later on.
Slowly in a tube.
So he's working with this ensign here. I don't know if we've met her before either. Like she seems new. I thought they.
I think we met her once. I don't
maybe,
know. In the last episode.
Well, there was that one. Remember the one Ollie? I thought that maybe it would have made sense for Ollie to be in this role because she had just joined the engineering team. But they instead we have to get this other character. Right. As they're fixing all the panels, and as she uncovers one, they find out that there's the warp plasma is overheated or something, and is going to cascade and everything else. And he tells everybody to get out. But
now we get to fix it.
Now we get to fix it. She's like, "Well, can you do this by yourself?" He's like, "No, you found it, so now we get to fix it." That's how it goes. Whoever discovers the problem has to.
It's like, yes, but it would be a great learning experience. It's like even if I die, that's when he's just like, we all die.
We all die, but only
live.
the engineers really live.
Everybody dies, but it's the engineers who really get to live.
What I took from this whole thing, especially when the other cadet comes up to him later, Phillips set off or fucked up that light on purpose so that crewman would find it and ask to fix it so that he could get her to do this. This is his version of how he trains his lower deckers.
His version of what Ransom pulls on his lower deckers.
Yeah. So he created the problem.
Yeah. Oh, he pulls a Scotty, like we saw in the episode of DS9 when they go back in time to the Enterprise, and O'Brien's like, I have no idea what the hell's going on here. Or a ROM job when no one else can fix any of the holosuites at Quarks because ROM has used forks and spatulas to make everything work.
True.
He even says he threw in like some weird temporary patch and then just didn't bother actually replacing it.
The guy who does the voice of Billups, his name is Andy Shear, right? And he was in the league. He's like super funny, and like I think this is maybe one of my favorite Billups presentations in any episode. As they're continuing to like fix this crisis that he jerry-rigged, as we put out. Then we check in with the medical officer, Dr. Tiana, down in sickbay, who's still trying to get over the passive or the constructive criticism.
I got some constructive criticism in the staff briefing that's got me in a shitty mood.
Yeah.
Chief medical officer's log.
Like the captain thinks I need to work on my pain management. Her nurse is just like, you don't do pain management. Like,
yeah, you don't do it. So Nurse Westlake comes in, who we've met before, but I don't remember liking Nurse Westlake so much. The bitchiness was off the charts. The sass.
You get out of here, I can ship you out of here so fast. And it's like nobody else would work for you.
Nobody else would work for you, Doctor.
I always liked Tiana. I always thought she was a great character, but this whole season has made her, I think, possibly my favorite character on this whole show.
She's insane. Like, clearly
unhinged. Just unhinged.
This one might be a bridge too far. Like, this is insanity. I was watching her storyline and being like, I don't know if I like this Tiana as part of this episode. It's my least favorite part of the episode, the Tiana stuff.
I died.
It's
if people have a problem with pain, they can look at the chart, and it's just like, I feel good.
Other. It's like, okay, we need to update the chart.
All right, let's go. And then Westlake's, oh no, it's just another day in sick bay with these two, I guess. As Dr. Tiana goes down to her underwear and gets Nurse Westlake to open her abdomen with a laser scalpel.
Start messing with her guts.
And start playing with my guts. Let's go. That's an order.
So insane.
Yeah.
Why is she a medical officer? She hurts more people than she heals in this show. She's always clawing faces off and shit.
Right. Yeah, like it seems like she maybe picked the wrong profession. She'd be better in like security or something else. Yeah.
I mean, she killed too many people in security.
Sure. Then we go back to Captain Freeman and Commander Stevens here. So there was the staff meeting from 10 to 11. Go to Barnes' sousaphone recital. Which It's like a big tuba here. I had to pull
The
some of this.
de-evolving didn't affect the sousaphone playing.
Oh, just beautiful. Hardly affected by your protruding brow.
Very
that was pretty
reminiscent
good.
of Riker's trombone evenings. Or Data's violin practices.
Yeah, one of those recitals or whatever else, like let's go watch him play violin or whatever. Yeah, but it's like
Go
okay,
back a shot too. If you go back and watch like TNG always had hard shadows on the wall over. Like in TNG, you see everybody's shadow,
right?
In the later seasons, and they try to like not be so like just kind of a blanket,
like in frame of mind and stuff like that.
Yeah, hard shadows in those last seasons. So I think they're making fun of that too.
Right. There are 4 lights as well, of course, with those shadows. So then there's the fertility event at the 11:30 to 12:30 in the multi-purpose room, which I'd like to.
It's a life form.
It's a life form.
I honestly didn't even know you weren't human.
So
We should sell It's a life form T-shirts.
It's a life form. Fancy little life form. Anyway, so Captain
Smile.
Oh yeah, Stevens with the mustache, and then of course giving birth here to whatever this was. It's a life form. I guess that's the point. So they move on to stage 6, where Winger Bingston is doing a one-man show. I think I confused Winger with Nurse Westlake last season. All these blue shirts are alike, but they're very
pips.
Yeah, I gotta look at the pips more closely, and the hair. Of course, the hairstyles are different, but like doing his kind of drama thing and scene. This will come back later, but everything else, more of those hard shadows, Davan, as well.
Yep.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Captain. And
Data's poetry.
Yeah, Stevens even falls asleep during it, and he's like, "You watch this, Stevens. You dragged me into this meeting or this event." Then we see that from this out in space here that there's a ship kind of lurking behind an asteroid, and what could be going on here? That the Cerritos is not alone here with the bagoons. I was like, I don't know what that ship is if I'm supposed to when I first saw it.
Tell you one thing, it's a terrible ship. The ugliest ship I've ever seen, and the crew aboard it are nothing but scumbags.
Well, yeah, it's not even symmetrical. We even see from the captain's perspective.
I had to talk to my people.
I was like, are we supposed to know who these people are? But I don't think it turns out no. So that shuttle bay is down in the engineering section too, isn't it?
Don't get me started.
Yeah. Okay. So they're trying to get the space cows or the bagoons to come in here. They're cloaking technology. They're chasing it all around the room. He says something here funny that I thought.
They all just keep piling in. Tiffany wasn't even watching this with me. She just walks by and just goes, "Why don't they just shut the doors?"
Yeah.
Smart.
So then Captain, I don't know, there's more fighting here with the ensigns. So Commander Ransom starts, saying like, "I'm going to tell you a story." And he just goes into one of his longer things. Like, there was another commander who could bench more than me. Well, something else. They're like, is this relevant? But, he's a superior officer.
You got to believe in the power of exercise.
Yeah, the power of exercise. Then we check in with engineering as they're trying to figure out how to deal with this crisis here. Now there's an AI guardian that the Binar's installed into the system, and it like comes out of the Alcar's battle and grabs Billups and then tries to eat him. So
you have to tell it a sad story
from your childhood, while you do something else, while you recalibrate the servos or something.
She sucks. She's like, I saw an already dead fish once.
I saw a fish when I was a kid with my dad. They're like, it's got to be sadder than that. It will know. Phillips is getting eaten by the Elcar's panel. This was something different for sure. I never imagined that. Then Tiana, of course, in sick bay, getting more.
They keep letting these friggin' binars mess with the ship, man, and it's never a good thing.
Right, well, I liked Minuet while she lasted, but you know,
yeah,
hey.
fair.
More sadism down here with Dr. Tiana and Nurse Westlake. He's like, this thing is meant for splitting atoms, this laser. She's like, hit me with it, go!
Just unhinged.
Yeah, completely insane. She's, yeah, like, this should kill you, it seems like, but I guess she's tough like that.
Acacians are tough.
We get
It's
to see
the first
Acacian
time we've ever spent much time with Acacian, really.
No, we know that they have 2 boobs and they have, their skeleton is this. So, and they're going up here. Yeah. Stuff.
What was the point of all this torture either? Like, she's not updating anything.
So she knows what pain feels like. So she'll be more empathetic as a doctor.
Right.
That's her purpose here. Shaq's still fighting his astral projection. His Shadow King, he snaps his neck here, in one of those moves, and then he's like, "You snapped a lot of necks, did you? Of all the Cardassian warriors." As we see all these his victims, as I think he said, they weren't victims, they were occupiers.
They weren't warriors. They were occupiers.
Throw them all around here. Cardassian zombies. Then. Ransom's still doing his shtick down here in the cargo bay or the shuttle bay.
Take some nourish Redden.
Yeah. The what's his name? This who we think is the exobiologist, the Jairzinho species, turns out not to be. Is part of his face gets knocked off here. He runs out. Ransom doesn't notice, but he's kind of looking at here in the panel, and this is when Captain Freeman and Billups or Stevens come by, and we see he's kind of like an insectoid man underneath. I was getting like.
Reminds me of V. Remember the
V
when they tear off and they see the lizard skin underneath.
It made me think of like the Conan the Barbarian TV show cartoon when we were kids. That was kind of based on the movie, and everyone turned into a snake person when that star medal was held up to their face or whatever.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, it didn't last long, but it was a show.
Not enough breakfast cereal tie-ins.
Yeah, we see the reveal here as this kind of like in Men in Black when the guy comes out of like the Edgar suit, with and he kind of reveals himself to be this giant, huge bug man underneath. What are they called? The Clickets?
Crickets.
Are they just meant to be big crickets? Or something?
They don't like being complimented, that's for sure.
Yeah, what do you want with the Cerritos? We don't want your ship. We want the bagoons. We find out that they want to harvest their technology and maybe eat them as well.
Their cloaking organ.
Yeah, with their thing here.
Save Natalie.
We want the bagoon
Why?
To harvest their cloaking organs and maybe eat what's left, depending on texture and flavor.
I'm almost sure that's like the same guy who does the voice of Kayshawn, but well, let's see if that comes up later on. Anyway, so they're planning to take over the ship. They're beaming over all their boarding party to take it over. Ransom has fallen asleep, or so we believe, as they're being invaded by these Clickets. Dr. Tiana is gone to putting snakes or eels in some kind of a jar around her head.
So the osmotic eels.
Oh, the osmotic eels. Well, any good sickbay would have some. Shax is getting walked up upon here, from behind, and it's looking like the Cerritos is in trouble, everybody. That these Clickets are going to get the best of them. That's the voice of Miglimo. Okay. Who does him there? And...
Well, he was talking about food.
He was talking about food. So this guy's attacking Captain Freeman, but then Barnes saves the day with the sousaphone hitting them there.
Boom, 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 boom.
We have another meeting, Captain. Come on. Down in engineering,
Dying in a tube
with Billups. He's like, he's dying in this tube. This is how every engineer thinks about my eyes.
It's okay. This is how all engineers want to go. At work, in a tube.
Right. And then so she goes and grabs an axe. This was funny. This is one of my funniest moments.
What are you doing? That axe is for emergencies only.
What's your definition of an emergency? Ah!
That's for emergencies only, that axe. And then
he's like, okay, fine.
As they're going along here, they figure out the engineering problem, and I don't know. They fix the warp core with all of this. This has nothing to do with the Clickets invading. This is just what Billings happens to be up to at this time. As Commander Ransom's about to be stabbed in the back by this Clicket, but he is saved here by the ensigns, Beta and Delta Shift coming together, as they're able to work together to defeat him. I'm trying to remember what they're. Oh yeah, they throw the box on his head here, and then they kind of knock him.
Oh, they warped him.
Yeah, they warped him. Right, warped him. Even do a chest bump here, and the Beta and Delta Shift getting along for a minute. Just to remember, they don't like each other once again. By the end of this conversation, and they all agree that they hate Commander Ransom, and that he's the worst commander they've ever had.
She's like, look, I don't like Delta Shifters for a ton of reasons.
For many reasons, yeah. They go off here. We see. We'll come back to Commander Ransom. So, but Captain Freeman's still in the corridor. She sees the error here, and they're being attacked by these Clickets. Barnes blocking the disruptor fire with the sousaphone. Redirect. He goes into the sousaphone and comes back out.
It's so good.
Barnes hitting them all with the sousaphone, which looks like more like a big French horn than a tuba, actually. But, and then they're about to be attacked by this other Clicket, but then Dr. Tiana emerges from sickbay, having gone through quite a bit of torture, shoots Dr. Tiana, and goes, "What? That was on kill." So am I,
That was set to kill.
So am I!
There's his wings off.
Jesus.
Amazing.
She's a doctor.
Well,
I don't understand.
Well, she's the toughest doctor of them all, I'd say.
She is the best bedside manner on the entire Cation homeworld.
Yeah. Then this Clicket's about to come back for after the attack, but then what's his name? The guy with the scene. I don't know. Mr. Drama here. Mr. Conspiracy Theory. Shax is still in his thing. He's still fighting all these astral projection Cardassians, and then in the heat of all this, while the Clickets are attacking, he starts envisioning them as the Cardassians. So he's fighting the Clickets.
This is amazing. This is my favorite scene.
While he's like still in this kind of zone, just going all along here, kind of doing it on autopilot, even seeing the astral projection of himself as one of these Clickets.
This is the most hilarious part, though. He breaks this Clicket's back, and then he snaps out of it. He just looks down. He's just like, "Oh, buddy, sorry, man. Like, I didn't mean to break your back.
I am the bear. I am the Papa Bear," or whatever he says.
Like he screams, "This is the bear hug.
This is the bear hug." As he comes out and goes, "Oh, geez, I beat up a whole bunch of Clickets, did I?"
He looks so despondent too. He's like, "Oh God, what did I do?"
He broke his back.
The Clicket captain, he's like he's talking to Captain Freeman on the bridge, and they said, "We got you surrounded, Captain. We have everyone else." But then she remembers the briefing that they can't stand compliments. These Clickets, they find it infuriating and it drives them crazy. So she's like, "You're a great captain. You do everything you could for your crew."
And I respect that.
And I respect that. They're like, "No, stop with the compliments." And he starts putting it shipwide, kind of telling them all that they're great at what they do. And they're like, no, this can't be. Captain Freeman laying it on thick and managing
This is a great Freeman episode, too.
It is, yeah. Like, I think they all get their moments to shine here, really. As they're all beamed away, the Clickets retreat. And head on out of here as quickly as they came. As they, I don't know, what's going to stop the Clickets from coming back and coming
just
after
taking more Lagoons later?
Yeah, like I wasn't quite sure what the solution here
Don't
was.
know why they needed to engage the Enterprise at all, really. But
Cerritos, but yes,
or Cerritos, right?
Yeah. They're all Enterprises to the Packlets.
Swiss cheese brain man over here.
Then we see that Ransom was faking sleeping the whole time. He's like, I know how to handle these lower deckers, you know.
As usual, my grasp of the lower decker mind has proven to... carry on, Ensign.
I know you're just faking it, and you pretend to be a dumbass or whatever, but you're not. He's like, well, don't tell anybody. Thanks. Yeah. Down here with Billups and the ensign, whose name I still don't know.
Phillips looks like he just had sex. Go back one frame.
Oh yeah. It's almost like for him.
His mustache, he's got like the look on his face. It's hilarious.
It's almost like he went on a date almost.
Yeah.
But, she even calls him by his name.
Thanks, Andrea.
Whoa, gonna stop you right there. First names only when we're on the brink of death.
Yes, sir.
And then this cadet comes along. You can tell he's a cadet by the freckles mostly.
No pants.
The freckles.
Yeah. What are we supposed to do? Oh, I guess he's going to do the next thing to him, right? When he's just put that ensign through or some version of that where the warp core's going to blow up and we have to save him and you got to smash them out with an axe or whatever else. Yeah. Billups is insane as well. They're all insane. I think that's what we're they're in different ways. All of these bridge officers are out of their minds.
Freeman's not insane.
No, not her, maybe.
No, she's just doing typical captain stuff, and then she gets the reward at the end.
Yeah, because she's supposed to have a call with her husband, but then guess who shows up? Admiral Freeman himself. For a surprise thing. They were going to have it's their anniversary. They were going to just do a subspace call, but we find out that Stevens has arranged this all, and Stevens is a better guy than maybe we've given him credit for in the past. As they get to go to their version of
slightly creepy, as we see here in a second.
Yeah, he's slightly creepy. We get their version of "We'll Always Have Paris" as they go the holiday.
He's just gonna watch them until he absolutely can't.
Yeah, the door is closed. Here.
I didn't catch that the first time.
Down in the mess hall, they're all kind of coming off of this, like Shax and Tiana and Westlake. I like how Shax had the Raktajino mug here too from Deep Space Nine. That was a nice little nod. What's Tiana having a bowl of soup? Is that what that's supposed to be?
It was chowder.
And I guess Westlake's having a margarita of sorts. Anyway, so they've had a hell of a day, and then this is where Miglimo is like, "I can help you with therapy. Fight these things. Let's start it today. Let's go."
It's like hot chowder.
The hot chowder goes. Oh, it was chowder. That's right. That's what it was.
That's the chowder that finally made her feel pain.
And finally made her feel pain, and then Westlake's like, "You could do it, kitty." And she's like, "I hate you." The lower deckers finally come back into the episode. What they were doing through all the Clickett stuff, who knows? Like they were carbon pumpkins, I guess. So as we see here, some of the Clicketts got arrested with the one with the sousaphone on his head. A few of those cows still behind. As they're getting some drinks here at the bar, then I think they start telling
Mariner they saw her parents making out.
I saw your dad here. No, you didn't. And that the senior officers get into their own adventures sometimes. Maybe when we're not around, they're having their own things. No way they can. But that's exactly what the episode is about, of course.
That's
and then
my worldview. Stop crushing it.
Yeah, and then Talin says, like, "I saw your dad kissing Santa Claus," or whatever she says.
No, I saw your mother and father making out in a painting.
Yeah. Which I didn't know that Vulcans could lie, even to tell the joke, but I guess they can. So
she's popping off.
She is. She's
not a typical Vulcan.
Comedy.
She's insane by their standards.
But she is the most rebellious Vulcan in history. So she was exiled to the Cerritos for not fitting in with the Vulcans enough.
Lower your voice to it.
Yeah. Do you have any Easter eggs or facts you wanted to share with us, Justin?
I didn't get too much out of this one. Like we got the V'ger reference at the beginning there on the pumpkin. It's always nice to shout out to that strange, bald, resurrected.
What was the painting reference to? Was there a time when we were trapped in paintings?
I searched, but I can't find any reference to a Star Trek episode. So I think it might be a Red Dwarf call out because there was a getting stuck in or going into paintings thing in Red Dwarf.
Mario 64.
Mario 64, Skyrim had a thing where you go in because I got the crap kicked out of me by trolls. Harry Potter, they go into that thing in Harry Potter, right? Or they just talk, I guess. I don't know.
No, I don't think so. But
but other than that, there was some Klingon bird of prey. I think were added to the opening battle. I think that was the new ship. And there's the big at the very end. You can see the big space storm off to the left. I don't know when that was added. I just noticed that this time.
And the Tholian web that comes in and like covers the whole thing.
The green hand from the original series.
But that's been the whole season, right? Not just this episode.
Oh yeah. Not just the episode. Yeah, I think the Klingon, if I'm not mistaken, I think the Klingon bird of prey was the new addition for this episode. I got the idea that this might have been out of order.
I think that's correct.
The Cordery rocks in the season, or in the ceiling rather. Cordery was a crewman in the original series, but as far as I know, he didn't die from anything falling on him from the ceiling. So I'm not really sure if that's where that reference is.
Probably just invented the box.
Yeah, the references to those weird episodes of TNG where we'd have Riker doing a concert or Data doing a poetry reading, or something like that.
O'Brien doing a cello recital.
Yeah, Shax. We see where he got his eye injury in this. When he's meditating, I'm fairly certain that that's his paw that is beating the crap out of his inner demons. What else did I have?
His paw is
Yeah,
strong.
Billups totally set up all of those problems just to train those cadets. I'm very certain of that. He seems just as unhinged as Tana, and just a bit different way. I don't know if there was much
the Clickets were mentioned once before. It's saying here in the episode Veritas.
They faced it off before.
Right. Which I didn't remember, or
I think it's just like in one of those opening scenes, like before the credits. Like sometimes they're just like in a battle or something, and then it like the credits come up and the episode starts.
I remember the Veritas episode. Like, I think that they might. Yeah, it seems like they've been referenced at least. Bingston in his little drama play mentions Geordie LaForge and Ro Laren getting stuck out of phase in the Next Generation episode, The Next Phase. And the title refers to the fact that this episode focuses on the senior officers, the upper deckers, in the other words, rather than focusing on the lower deckers, like usual, and all of that. Of course, we already knew that. And what was the name? I want to know what the name of this ensign was that Billups was hanging out with the whole episode. It was not Moxie. Moxie was one of the Delta shifters.
I don't think she was named.
She was. Does she get a name here?
He just calls her Ensign.
Keebers, Zirkle.
Also, his Andorethio. There's a royal first name.
It's a great name.
Cara Vitas is one of the beta shifters. But yeah, I don't know if this ensign gets a name at all in the episode. It's just Meredith.
Engineering.
Meredith. That's it. Ensign Meredith. First seen in Room for Growth, which was season 3. Okay.
Yeah. And the guy that voiced the cricket infiltrator, not the cricket captain, was the same guy that did Kayshawn. And that was Carl Tart.
Carl Tart. Yeah, it was like I knew one of these Clickets was like the Kayshawn guy. It was like there's something.
And the guy that did the captain, as Murphy pointed out in chat, was the voice of Miglino.
Paul F. Tompkins.
Yes.
All right. Well, with all that reviewed, guys, let's figure out: do we like this episode or not? How much? And if so, how much? Justin, you had indicated earlier it wasn't your favorite, but you don't dislike it.
I enjoyed it. It didn't have as many callbacks as I normally enjoy, but I think we all know that I am a big fan of the fan service nostalgia in Lower Decks. I'm gonna give this one a 7.
A 7 from Justin. Okay. How about you, Davin?
10.
10. Wow. Okay. I liked this one a lot. Like I was laughing quite a bit, and I thought that so I liked it more than the previous episode for sure.
We finally got a lot of character stuff for the Upper Deckers, which is nice.
Yeah,
It's too late because the series is over. But,
right. But maybe these characters will one day come back. Who's to say? Maybe even if it's just a movie, or even if we got like a live action version of Billups, for instance. That would be fun too. So I'm giving it a 9 myself. I enjoyed it a lot. So it's got an 8.7 out of 10 average for us tonight. 7.8 on IMDb as of right now, with I don't know, like probably 73 votes all day. And so that is our
9.5 from Murphy.
9.5 from Murphy.
Oh, okay, 9.5 from Murphy. All right, I'll put that in right now. The average just went up to 8.9. So,
boom. Good job,
boom.
Murphy.
But right now, our highest rated episode of the season was last week's episode, 9.4, and that's even with me being the low vote in that particular episode. So, all those things in mind. Let's look ahead to the next episode of Lower Decks. What is after this episode? It is called Fissure Quest.
Wow. Yeah.
No guesses.
Will this be the Harry Kim episode?
I think
Probably.
This will be them going into one of the fissures for some reason, and it will end up being the Harry Kim episode.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense, right? And even just to speculate ahead for 2 episodes from now, like where does this show end? Like what is a satisfying conclusion? Like are we going to see them?
The New Next Generation is the last episode title. Take from that what you will, Dave.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a reboot. I tell you, this is not over. It's not over. Lower Decks isn't going anywhere.
I've been saying
Lower
that
Decks,
all
the
season.
Next Generation is coming.
But could that mean that like certain characters like Boimler are going to move on or do something else?
I would say it's their way because like Connie Newsom's gonna go off and do that other thing, right? Like she's got that like. So, like, she probably doesn't want to do this show anymore, maybe. So, like, or maybe some other people don't. I think this is their way of
will not have your nonsense
characters of the actors that don't want to come back.
What's he suggesting here?
Oh, Murphy's got these internet conspiracy theories
that I've been following, unfortunately, too, and that I am grumbling with off screen.
Well, I'm bummed out that the show's ending too, and I really like or love a lot of these characters, these Upper Deckers included. So I would, if we get any of them again, I'll be pleased because I think they're all solid and insane in their own right.
Maybe they can't afford Jack Quaid anymore.
Jack Quaid. Yeah, he's not the only one on the cast who I think I don't know what Jerry O'Connell costs to have around, but some of these people are names in their own right, and it's the economics of how shows like this work are definitely things that are completely lost on me. I don't really know how they make it work or not, but
nonsense.
Yeah.
Anyway, that is our conclusion. What else we got going on? We just did our 12 Days of Christmas, right?
One of them of 12.
One of them. Yeah, we started that last night. Looking back at one of the debates. Oh, I had a overlay here. Un momento. Debate 9. The beautiful thumbnail created by Justin. Got to bring it up. The 12 Debates of Christmas in our science division, looking back at some of our greatest debates. We've done one installment of that so far, and there will be more to come, so look out for that. Of course, we're covering shows like the Orville here.
I sing at the beginning of all of them.
Yeah, you want to see some musical, come check out the 12 Days of Christmas. Is that what we're calling it? The 12 Debates of Christmas, I'm sorry. And then Orville on Mondays. Most recently, we covered the episode Sanctuary, was really good. And so we're almost done season 2 of that show. So check that out on Mondays. Star Trek Radio
Bring
Theater.
that up. Bring that image up.
This one?
Her brother's going to be on Graphic History soon.
Her brother? Like in her real life brother, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Neat.
They write comics together.
Adrian Pilecki. So
Yeah, he's Eric Palicki.
Eric Palicki. Well, I'm a fan of her. She was on Supernatural way back in the pilot. If you ever watched that show.
No, but I watched her on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and she was great on that.
Yeah.
They almost got a spin-off. They were so good. Her and like the guy who played God, who'd he play? Get now. They were a good team.
The thiefy,
The British guy.
But she's in the original pilot for Supernatural. She's the girlfriend of Sam Winchester in that show.
is she the one that
on the ceiling? Yeah. Yeah, Jess was her character, but
yes,
yeah, I don't know.
That.
It went 15 seasons and it's been off the air for like at least 6 now, I think. But it's or maybe 5. But yeah, spoilers for Supernatural season 1. Anyway, and then of course our Star Trek Radio Theater shows. We recently did North Star from Enterprise. And we are just announced we're going to be doing Generations coming up on December 29th. We're going to be in the Christmas spirit. We had a great cast to break this all down, including Justin, Davan, and myself, as well as many of the others here from Live Long and Podcast. And Sean Farrick from Trek Culture will be joining us as our Dr. Tolian Soren for that show. So look out for that. It will be on a Sunday afternoon. I know it says Sunday night there, but it's actually, Sunday afternoon. So look out for that in the near future. And we'll probably be bringing back our Star Trek The Next Generation review in the near future as well. Probably after Christmas with Lower Decks wrapping up, and we'll have a little bit of a gap there before I guess Strange New Worlds kicks up, guys. So all that to say, lots happening here on Live Long and Podcast, and in the United Federation of Podcasts, and all our sister shows like X-Rated, like Super Mater Brothers, like Hold Up, like Hey, Did You See This One? Who are on tonight talking more Nicolas Cage movies. So go check that out.
Yeah, we're
Sure are.
Oh, it's the finals, is it?
'Tis the finals.
Yeah, we got this going on over on X-Rated on Monday. Got a director's chat with Frank Poor and Stephen E. Gordon. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they're from X-Men Evolution?
And many other things, but yes.
Nice. Very good. Okay, well, I don't know. I guess we'll leave you with a play out a clip here, and we'll see it. Well, first, I did get to play this in the show, so I'll drop that in here.
We should let the audience know that apparently they are actually talking about a local indie film called Wolves tonight over on. Did you see this one? And they've actually got one of the actors on, Murphy says.
Oh, wow. Very cool.
Good for them.
Yeah. All right. Mazzaro, When the Lake Was Smooth.
Mozaro, When the Lake Was Smooth.
Yeah, things are going right.
Shaco, when the album dropped.
Yeah, and Strong and Brave, Wise and True. That's what makes a Cerritos crew. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thanks to Justin and Davan.
Bring it in, everyone!
Strong and brave, wise and true. That's what makes us Cerritos crew. Yeah!
Beam up some Star Trek content with Live Long and Podcast. Tune in to X-Rated, the X-Men animated review show. Artistic interviews with graphic histories. A roundtable movie discussion with Hey, Did You See This One? And movie reviews with Hold Up, a movie podcast. And while you're at it, spin a few records with Eamon on Track. Watch us duke it out on trivial debates. And let's chat about TV with the Super Mater Brothers. It's all here on the United Federation of Podcasts.